So, Kristen, tell me a little bit. I know you said you used some BJU Press growing up and that you used the green readers. So, let's talk about a minute about the green readers.
Yes. I actually brought them to show you.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
These are first grade that I found on the shelf at a thrift store.
Oh, that's amazing.
And the pictures inside are great. This is actually my favorite story from when I was a little girl.
And what is the name of that story? Do you remember?
This one is The Case of the Missing Treasure.
Interesting. I had two favorite stories in my kids' readers. So I grew up in the church, but we never focused, or I don't remember focusing or learning from the Old Testament. That's probably a user error on my part. But as the boys started going through the BJU Press Homeschool readers, I just started learning so much Bible history. It was pretty amazing. And I'll never forget reading the story of Esther and for such a time as this. During all the time I was going through, the threats of jail and the legislature and all of that. I mean, I had no inclination that I was Esther, but the principles there of we were all born for such a time as this. It's really just had a profound impact on me. And there was a story about marriage that I still draw from. And my kids we used to talk about these stories all the time. So when I found another Green Reader fan, we just needed to talk about that for a little while. So now what and I just have to say BJU Press Homeschool is the sponsor of our podcast, and I'm so thankful to them for doing that. And their new readers are also great, and you can't it's very hard to find the old readers you wouldn't want to anyway, but I love the history in our home that we had over those readers. So, what are you using these days?
I'm using a combination of BJU Press and for history and science, I'm a little eclectic. So I buy the history and science readers from BJU, and then we just sit on the couch and open them and read them and talk about them.
Oh, that is great. That is a great way to learn together. We did a lot of that with our kids growing up, sitting and just reading and using the textbooks as our reference point and ideas and all of that. So this is your third year to homeschool, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay. So what was your husband also homeschooled?
he was not.
And so
He
how did he feel when you told him you wanted to homeschool?
he was a little reluctant. He comes from a family of school teachers, so he was very reluctant on that side of it.
And how does he feel now that you've been homeschooling for a few years and he sees the kids?
He will never send them to any school.
So he's become a convert.
Yes. Yes, very much a convert.
So, what have you enjoyed the most about homeschooling?
Seeing my children learn and catch on with, reading and writing and, thinking, just having those critical thinking skills. We can sit down and open a book and read through it, and I'll ask them if they have any questions, and they've got the things that I would never think of. They just pull out of their little brains and they just make all of these little tacks, and it's really amazing to see.
That is one thing that the BJU Press curriculum is well known for, and its foundation of critical thinking. Yeah, I think there are 4 foundational principles: the biblical worldview, the critical thinking, engaged learning, and technological solutions, with the hub and those types of things. But I'm so glad to hear you say that, because if ever our kids have needed critical thinking skills to face the world, it's now.